But as has already been mentioned, it can be quite expensive and it's not necessarily the best fit for everyone. It requires funding and it requires commitment from the market to make it work. And that isn't always the case. It isn't always the right approach for everyone. So I'm going to present 3 case studies that will exemplify our work with small-scale fisheries and eco-labels. But I've only been in this job for 3 weeks. I started at the new year, and before that I was at the OECD, based in Paris, France, and I've been asked to talk a little bit about the OECD's work on fisheries and aquaculture certification. So I'm just going to do that first. So, the OECD did a lot of work in eco-labels, and in 2010 it published a guide to fisheries and aquaculture certification. As Yagi-san mentioned, I worked with Carl Christian Schmidt, who helped set up the MSc with Unilever in 1998 or so. And I later worked with Unilever, but I promise there's no connection between the two. But he helped lead this project on certification, and as an intergovernmental institution, the OECD is very concerned with finding the appropriate role for governments in the design and implementation of eco-labels, and different governments have adopted different positions on this, and I will highlight that in the case studies to follow. As we've discussed a little bit, the drivers of eco-labels and certification can be very complex. For many, there's an expectation of a price premium. It doesn't always materialize. Retailers are a major force behind certification, which we also discussed earlier, but it also could be part of their greater marketing strategy, a way to get customers into their stores, and also a way to protect their brands and reputation. For consumers, the bottom line might be to be assured that the choices they make in the marketplace are responsible and sustainable. And of course, if certification results in healthier stocks, then everyone benefits. The OECD also highlights that primary producers see reduced production costs due to increased catchability. The industry benefits from reduced resource and management risk, and society as a whole benefits from moving towards a greener growth path. Of course, other benefits are that certification can also contribute to improved traceability, and this aspect and its relationship with IUU fishing is really at the forefront of the OECD's work now. But the OECD also highlights that proliferation of eco-labels in the marketplace has led to consumer confusion, which weakens the effectiveness of the labelling effort. It also risks segmenting markets, where different labels are used at different times and in different ways. And multiple incompatible certification schemes and labels may reduce or prevent a level playing field and cause a barrier to trade. So what does the OECD say to do? So the OECD loves international standardization work, and this is what they recommend, particularly in light of FAO guidelines. And essentially, the OECD's point in this publication is that the information given to the public needs to be built on fact, it needs to be reliable, not make unsubstantiated claims, and provide a basis for consumers to make informed choices. So with that out of the way, I can talk about the 3 different case studies. This is the first one. This is a MSC certified tuna in the Maldives. It was certified in 2012 and is up for recertification this year. It was the first country in the Indian Ocean to receive MSC certification for the Poland-lined skipjack fishery. The crucial thing to see about this fishery is that the whole fishery is certified and that it received substantial government support and very, very strong industry commitment and investment. So for example, major retailers in the UK, such as Sainsbury's and Waitrose, sourced from this fishery, and also Worldwide Foods invested a lot, so they're the trader that I mentioned earlier. It has brought, for this fishery, increased access to markets, increased sustainability, increased traceability and quality, plus a premium price for the tuna, as well as social benefits such as higher employment in the fishery. In fact, it's really a great role model for many other fisheries. and we use it as a great example. It's encouraged other fisheries to work in the way that they have done too. But one of the really crucial things to take away is that the eco-label in this case, the MSC, has driven policy change to the benefit of small-scale fisheries. And by that I mean that the Maldivian government, with ourselves and a few other NGOs and some of the industry, really pushed for harvest control rules at the RFMO, the IOTC, and they were passed last year. It's a really, really huge achievement, especially because it was the first ever adoption before a species was in trouble. The second case study is to show a fisheries improvement project. Some fisheries haven't got to MSC standards yet, and they need help to do so. This second case study is a fishery improvement project in Indonesia. Indonesia's got a really different set of circumstances compared to the Maldives. As you know, it's very spread out geographically. There's a large industry, and it has some problems. And a lot of industry support is needed, and market support is needed for their fishery to improve. So IPNLF is driving this fishery improvement project in Indonesia with the pole and line and hand line tuna fishery. We've been there since 2012, and it looks like we'll enter a pre-assessment shortly. We're working with this fishery to try and bring it up to MSC standard because it's a good fit for them. And particularly as part of the FIP, we've been improving traceability, which of course is one of the bases of this standard. So we partnered with the industry in Indonesia and a local NGO, and we've developed and launched a vessel registry system which covers 90% of the pole and line industry. It's called the Fish Panel System, and it holds information on more than 100 pole and line vessels and almost 700 hand line vessels. And it provides the foundations for the comprehensive fishery information system which meets the MSC chain of custody requirement on product traceability. And the third example I want to use is again from Indonesia. And it's to highlight the importance of social aspects in our work and also for the communities which we work with. And this might also be of relevance to the Japanese market. But it's to show that although the MSC focuses on environmental sustainability, we perhaps have to look to other eco-labels when the fishery wants to promote the social aspects more. Social aspects are really important in many developing country fisheries, and other certifications address or improve these social components, while also including fishery access to market. So this is the handline fishery centered around Maluku Island in Indonesia. It's linked to the first Fair Trade USA certification, first certified tuna fishery, and it's a really good example of a full chain consumer-facing traceability system without the MSC. There's now actually another certified fishery in the Maldives, but this was the first one. The system here, there's a barcode which you can scan, and then the information on the full chain custody appears on a website. In this case, it started with 100 fishermen. There are now 600 fishermen that are members of the system, and it allows you to go way back through the supply chain to find where the fish was fished. For example, this is a screenshot of this fish website that allows you to put in the code and that follows the product through the supply chain. And the website for that is www.thisfish.info. So all of that basically to say that my takeaway message to you today is that on the whole, eco-labels have been beneficial for these small-scale fisheries because the standard helps support access to markets through traceability and quality and environmental standards, as well as consumer awareness. It does fit some small-scale fisheries, the MSC label, and it does help improve others, but it's not a complete answer, is what my NGO would say, due to the cost, due to the geography, and due to social aspects as well. There are other good certification schemes out there, and it's something we need to be aware of when we're talking about eco-labels, just to remember that small is beautiful too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ingrid, for presenting 3 cases from your current work at International Fall in Line Foundation, and as well as your presentation on your work at OECD. So now I would like to have a couple of questions from the floor.
There wasn't coughing.
Hi. Just a comment, really. I'm not familiar with the fair trade because I've never been through it, but I think it's a little bit confusing in that yellowfin in Indonesia finds WCPFC managed. Yellowfin in the Maldives has been suspended from that original certificate with Skipjack because it doesn't meet the sustainability criteria through MSC or indeed through the FAO requirements. And yet, I know the company, I've been there, that it has yellowfin proudly proclaimed with the Fair Trade logo. And I think to a lot of people it's very confusing when within one system it is a sustainability system, outright, and it's suspended, and the other, say, along the road, a company that's involved elsewhere, it's actually got this nice logo on it. So I just wonder if you've got any comments about confusion in the market.
Yeah, like I said, I've been in the job 3 weeks,
Yeah.
sorry. I wish I knew more, but I don't. I could lie, but there's no point. I'd be happy to converse with you by email or call afterwards when I know more. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Is there any other questions? Okay, so if there is none, okay, we would have a coffee break, so we will reconvene at 4 o'clock. Thank you. So please come back by 4 o'clock.
So I want you to
そこのアラスカ州、そういうシステムがあってこそ結構簡単だ。
そうですよ。もともとね、なんかガバナンスがしっかりしてて、そう下地がある。予算まで必要
いやー、そうですね。まあ忙しくしていきたいっていう。そうですね。交通の僕と俊二さんだけだと今そうです3人目を探してる最中なんです。まあ近々。